What's up, Game Boys and Girls? Big T here, back with another video, and we're going to talk about the other guys. That is Microsoft, Xbox, and Sony PlayStation. I'm going to start with Xbox guys because the fans specifically, because over the years they've had to concede to the point where they got content and they understood what Microsoft was trying to do. But recently they've kind of faltered again. And also the Sony guys, the ponies, if you will, they're kind of in denial. They concede, but they don't really acknowledge they're conceding. And this is all in service of the console war. And I'll throw some PC guys too, because those guys are interesting. And this is as a Nintendo fan on the outside looking in. You know, we don't really count in gaming. We're not really in the competition here somehow, and you know, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with Xbox, the bots. I think around the time when what was that game? That game that came out with the TV show aspect of it. It's so sad I can't remember the name of the game, which I played in the beta. I thought it was all right. It was pretty good. The story was actually pretty good. The gameplay was not as good, but it still was decent. It still was good. I cannot remember the name of this game, where you have like time element powers or whatever. But the game was, like I said, a pretty good game. This game. So that game happened. It was the first time that a Microsoft Xbox exclusive game was going to come out day and date on PC. And fans started to lose their minds. One in particular I won't name here actually flipped from an Xbot to a pony. He got into a spat on Twitter. It was still Twitter then. And, you know, he just left Xbox. And there was this whole blow up about the game going day and date to PC. And obviously, Microsoft continued that with, make sure I'm recording, continued that with Game Pass. And their whole new mantra was day and date on PC and into Game Pass at no extra charge if you pay for the service. Which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was a good idea. They lost a very important generation, as Phil Spencer spoke about, the digital generation, where people were building their digital libraries. And so in the future, it'll be hard for them to switch consoles because all their digital library is on this certain console, and they want to keep playing that stuff and continue on into the future. And so, yeah, it made a lot of sense to me. But he wasn't in charge when that thing was being developed, and it was Don Matrick, and we all know about the huge misstep at the launch of the Xbox One, how that whole thing went. So by the time, you know, the Xbox Series comes out, most Xbox fans are content. They understand that, you know, they don't really have exclusives anymore, although there are console exclusives. And I think they're still exclusives to that extent because most console gamers don't care about PC. But in the aspect of console wars, they will use that as, oh, it's not an exclusive. Well, you don't really care about PC anyway. It's not like you're going to go buy that game on PC. Now, some of the more core fans are opening up to PC, and they're actually buying games on PC. I've always played on PC. I've never considered myself a PC gamer, but here and there throughout my history of gaming, I've always played on PC, going back to the 90s. But now we have PC gamer, and they're also acting like console fanboys. It is a strange situation. But so, like I said, the Xbox fans have come to understand and come to accept the fact that their console exclusives are going to PC day and date. And they've been pretty much content with that. They don't really, or Xbox, Microsoft proper, doesn't really fight the console war anymore, where they're trying to sell crazy amounts of consoles. They would love to, don't get it twisted, they would love to sell 100 million consoles, but you know, it's getting harder and harder to do that with more and more, what's the word I'm looking for? Distractions away from console gaming. The kids that I teach that grow up today, they don't care. I mean, some of them like their consoles, but they don't have an allegiance to them. A lot of these kids are playing on their PCs. A lot of the kids are playing on their phones. Like you see it all the time in school. Kids are playing together on their cell phones all the time. They don't care. They don't have these allegiances. And I think Microsoft understands that. Sony started to understand that, but they're not quite there yet. But yeah, that happened. So obviously recently Microsoft is putting out 4 games onto PlayStation, so a rival console, and a lot of fans lost their minds. I want to do a separate video further talking about that, but a lot of these guys lost their minds, and they say a lot of crazy things. The Xbox is going away. It's like they just spent $80 billion in the last couple of years. You think they're gonna stop what they're doing? No, that's a stupid thing. $80 billion. That's almost what the evaluation of Sony or PlayStation is, right? Or no, Sony in total. That's almost the value of the company of Sony. They just spent that for video games. You think they're giving up on gaming? It's just a stupid. I don't know what these guys are talking about. But anyway, they're just upset that they're losing console fanboy ammunition. They're losing console war ammunition by the fact that Microsoft's putting their games onto the rival system. So they're getting really upset that they can't throw these arrows, they can't throw these bombs the way they kind of used to, or they were just about to get into a situation where they could be the big boys and strut and say, look at all our exclusives, and Microsoft took that away from them. That's what this is about. It's not about their fandom. They're getting great games, especially this year, but they've lost their freaking minds over the fact that they don't have the ammunition they thought they were going to have going into more console wars. The fact that Microsoft, yes, they will still keep making consoles, but they're not going for a crazy push. They don't think the console market is expanding at all, and that's kind of true. And obviously, they're also putting their games on rival platforms, being the PlayStation 5. I think a lot of that has to do with them wanting to buy more in the future. I think that they're trying to show to regulators that, hey, we are not just going to lock all these games to our system. We're putting them on PC. We're putting them even on the rival platform. So there's no worries. We're still going to put games on other consoles, even without you requiring us to do that. And I think that's what they're doing by putting these games. I mean, we're talking about Pentiment. Pentiment is not going to make any money at all on PlayStation. We're talking about Hi-Fi Rush, another game that it'll make a little bit of money, but not much. And we're talking about games that already have 50 million players on them, being Sea of Thieves and what's the other game? Grounded. These games, I mean, how much more can they really grow? I don't think you're going to get, 1 million more players on Switch, maybe, and another million on PlayStation, maybe. These are maybes. These guys mostly won't care about these games who've been around forever. They haven't played them, and I don't think you're going to expand. You're not going to get another 25 million players on Switch, and Grounded has 20 million players. Sea of Thieves has 35 million players. I mean, I guess you'll inject some new life into it, but I think this is a look, we're playing nice gesture. I don't think this is a real business gesture. I think a lot of you Xbox guys are losing your minds over nothing. And as far as PlayStation goes, like I said, these guys are conceding and not realizing. I remember there was a time, we're talking, mid PS4 times, where or at least at the time that Microsoft was starting to put their games on PC, these guys were, Microsoft is trash. You'll never see Sony first-party games on PC, and then they'll never be day and date. You'll never see that, and that's about to happen. If you listen to the CEO, Hiroki Totoki, I think his name is, That is about to happen. That's what he means by being more aggressive. Instead of waiting a year, 2 years, even 6 months, they're going to start putting them day and date. That's what the aggression means. Now, there isn't any games to do that for at least until April of 2025, because they just let us know that they don't have any first-party games until then. Remember when everybody lost their minds when Microsoft did that in 2022? But yeah, it's different. I get it. But yeah, that's what's about to happen. So that argument is going to change again. They'll be upset the same way the Xbox are right now. They'll get upset when their Spider-Mans and their whatnots are coming day and date on PC, and the PC guys are just sitting back laughing at all this, because they're going to get everything, which is that's fine. It's cool. If Nintendo did it, I wouldn't care either. I like Nintendo hardware. I tend to like Nintendo hardware for its quirkiness, and I will continue to buy it as long as they continue to make it. I'm going to buy the next Xbox as long as it has a physical drive in it. I'm not, and as far as PlayStation goes, I don't want to be in their service. It's not as good as Game Pass. If it was, maybe then. But it's not as good as Game Pass is, and they don't really make any games that appeal to me anymore. That's why I tend to like Microsoft more, because, like I said, they're doing a lot of different things. They're trying a lot of different stuff that they didn't used to do. You wouldn't see a Pentiment, you wouldn't see a Hi-Fi Rush. Obviously, those are games made by those respected companies, Bethesda and whatnot. But they wouldn't publish stuff like that. They wouldn't put stuff out there like that before. And there's pushing more things like that. And that whatchamacallit to midnight game. I mean, they just have a lot of variety. It's regardless if it's Xbox Studios, it is still like these are Xbox games, because these are games that are going to go right into Game Pass day and date, day one, and that's appealing. Whereas Sony doesn't really make games that I care about anymore. They, PS3 was the beginning of it, and then it just got less and less. They made a couple games that I care about during the PS4.
Bitch, are you for real?
All right, so I wasn't paying attention, and my computer ran out of space and cut off my video. And I was just rambling on and rambling on. But I'm just gonna end it here. I'm gonna make my point again that this video has kind of been all over the place, but basically it's about watching the console fanboys concede and not realize it, and continue to lose their console war ammunition. That's what it's about. That's what all the freaking out is about, is that they're losing their console war ammunition. It's not about the games or the company they like or any of that stuff. It's the fact that they can't throw shots at the other fan bases the way they were expecting to, especially the Xbox guys, because with these acquisitions that Microsoft has been making, they thought, oh yeah, it's coming, here's our time to shine, we're gonna be able to lob these hand grenades at the other fan base, and we're gonna win this console war. And Microsoft was like, not really, we're doing this thing over here. You guys should come along with us, because this is the future. And a lot of these guys just don't like the future. They don't like that's what they're freaking out mostly about, is the fact that they can't fight the war the way they were expecting to with all these acquisitions. Oh, look what we got over here. And they don't like the idea that PlayStation is going to be, specifically, they don't mind Nintendo as much. It's the fact that they don't like that PlayStation is getting their games, even though they're having to pay for them full price when you guys don't. If you subscribe to Game Pass, they can't do that on their console, and that's something you could be happy about. You guys need some coaching on how to fight your wars. And as Nintendo guys, we're just kind of chilling over here, because we don't really exist. We're over here. Well, we don't exist when we're doing well. When we're not doing well, oh yeah, come on in here, let's make fun of you. But when you're doing well, oh, you guys are in a separate part of gaming. You don't really. You're in your own little, Nintendo. Nintendo. Yeah, Nintendo's in their own little worlds. They don't really partake. And it's like that's convenient. It's really convenient that when Nintendo's doing well, they don't count as far as the numbers and all that stuff and who's the big bad boy. But when they do bad, Wii U, point and laugh. Look how terrible these guys are. But yeah, it's obvious, and it's obvious that's what these guys are upset about. Not being able to fight the war the way they wanted to. Hold the line! They're not able to do that. But like I said, I don't think it's a big deal. I think Microsoft is just trying to say, hey, we're cool, FTC area and everybody else, all the other regulators, can we buy more stuff? And they're trying to buy more stuff. They're in gaming for the long haul. They see how much money, they became a $3 trillion company by acquiring these companies. So they know what the future is. You guys need to chill out, be cool. But yeah, that's my video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think it's interesting watching PC guys who pretend to be on the outside themselves starting to act like console fanboys? Like, I mean, they really haven't started. They've always, not want to say they always, I think it's 2010s is when they started to puff their chest out and declared we're PC gamers, and you guys are console peasants and all that kind of stuff. It's funny. It's a funny community we inhabit here. But yeah, that's my video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you again for watching and listening, and I'll see you fools next time. Peace out.